Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today's video I am going to highlight some of the parts in NK and Chris's interviews where, they just don't line up with what each of them says. One will say one thing and the other will say the other, and it just doesn't. Somebody's lying here. They might both be lying. I'm not sure, but they just don't line up with what each other is saying. And then just some other parts that I find kind of interesting. I just wanted to highlight them and kind of put them back to back so you guys could see, back to back what they each say. So here we go.
So it was probably around June 1st or something. That's when I first met her, and it was just like a work conversation. She messed with the gas meters that we're out in the field, and I was messing up, and then I took it to her like, hey, what's going on with this? Like, how do I fix it? And after that, we just ran into each other a few times in the office, and I think it was probably the fourth time meeting. She had asked me, because like when we were talking back and forth, I would say, like we moved here from Colorado or from North Carolina and stuff like that, and then she's like, "What's all this weed stuff?" I'm like, I took out my phone and showed her a picture, like my girl's on the phone. She's like, "Oh, okay." She's like, "So," I'm like, "Yeah." Like, I didn't wear a ring at work because like I sent it off so I get refitted, but I lost all that weight.
I met Chris at work. He's not like one of my direct coworkers. He just like works kind of in passing in the same office building as me. I met him, probably around the beginning of June, maybe before that. And we kind of talked in passing and then started to get to know each other, and we started hanging out pretty frequently around, I want to say like the last week of June, somewhere around there, and have continued to talk until then. He informed me that he did have 2 kids. I knew that he had 2 daughters. He also told me that he was currently in the process of a separation from his wife. And so, are there mosquitoes on me? That he was in the process of a separation from his wife, and as far as I knew, that was becoming pretty finalized.
So prior to June, did you know him? Did you guys have any? Did you know him? Any relationship? Didn't know him at all?
No, I didn't know him at all.
Met at work in June?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So we started talking through text message and through phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So after that, she left me alone for a couple days, and she texted me outside in the field. And then after that, we just kept texting back and forth, and it was just, just like, like she used to work in a little rig out in North Dakota, I think. And we just kind of trading stories back and forth about what we did and everything. And then one day, it just kind of went to a different level. And then I never thought I would ever go to that level, but she was talking about meeting up after we got back from San Diego. Yeah, we go to San Diego from the 22nd to the 26th of June, and we met up after we got back. And
how did you guys meet up?
At a park in Thornton. Thornton somewhere.
Let me go back to the park. Where was the park?
It's like down the street from my house. It's called East Lake Number 3.
Your house?
Yes.
In North Glen?
Yes.
And that was in the June time frame?
Yeah, or like the beginning of July. It was like right around my birthday. It's like so sometime at the very end of June or the beginning of July.
Okay. And that's the first meeting you had outside of work?
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more though? So in June, you guys started talking, and then when did it develop into more than just talking and more than just friendship?
It was like the beginning of July.
Yeah, July. Were you ever at his house?
Once.
Okay. When was that?
But it was probably the second weekend of July.
Second weekend. Okay. So it was just that one time?
Just once. I had no desire to go over there. I mean, we stopped by there once. Like, on the way to my house. And I was there for maybe like 15 minutes, and I saw a picture of her holding her kid, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. And I remember thinking, like, God, your little girls are beautiful too. And but yes, so once long time ago.
Okay. And that was in the middle of July.
Yeah, I think it was like the second. I think it was the second weekend of July. I'm almost positive.
Was the relationship intimate by that time?
Yes.
It was. Okay. All right.
When, during your guys' dating time, did you guys spend most of the time at your place?
Always.
Okay, always at your place.
I told, well, or we'd go out, but
Did you go anyplace else? Did you visit any other?
No, we just went to dinner. That's one of the only times I've actually ever been out in public with him. But yeah, just dinner.
I told Mark yesterday, he asked me if I went over there, and I told him about one time that I went over to that house. I've been to that house twice, but it was very, very brief, and it was not like an extended stay. I did not feel comfortable there, or like, I just didn't want to be there. It's not my life. Like, that is somebody else's life and somebody else's existence, and I respect that. That's their space. And so I used to tell him, well, come to my house because this is our space. This is my space.
So, just you went to his house on 2 occasions.
Yes.
Was that recent?
No, that was like pretty early into it, and I did not like it and did not want to go back.
Do you recall where the house was?
Yeah, it's like right off the highway in Frederick.
Okay. And you know the streets?
I mean, I'm sure I could figure it out again if I like really had to. Like off the top of my head, no.
Do you know the street name?
No.
Okay.
I would have to like drive around in there to get there.
Okay.
I told him, I was like, you know, like I respect like monogamy.
There are quite a few people who would tell us and who do tell us you need to look into Nikki more, Nikki Kissinger. All the way from the extreme end of things being Nikki's the one who ordered the hit.
She was there, hiding in the basement.
She was there.
Yeah.
You know, so the extreme is she's the one who told Chris to do it. She's the real problem. All the way, that's the extreme side, and then all the way to, well, there were these texts where she was infatuated, she was in love, she was saying how good Chris was in the sack, and maybe we should look at her more. You know, what would you say to those people?
You know, she had her moments where I had to talk her like off a ledge kind of deal.
What does that mean?
It's like, I guess after the fact, there was like videos of her that she was like recording herself because she was like bipolar or something. I never knew that. But it's like, and she would get worked up about nothing. She would just like, she came to my house once because I think it was like July 4th. I didn't have to work that day. So I didn't like get up at like, 4 o'clock and go home. And Shanann called me like 10 times in a row. And I didn't hear it because I was asleep. And I was just like, and she was pissed. Shanann was pissed. And like I called her on outside, like, where are you at? Like, what? Like, I was like, I didn't have to work today. It's like, you called me at like, 5:30. It's like, well, kids want to talk to you at 7:30. I'm like I was sleeping. She just like, screw you, like, I don't know where you're at. And I went back inside, so I'm like, I gotta go. And she was just like, okay, are you coming back? I'm like, probably not.
So wait a minute, you kind of lost me there. Were you at Nikki's place when
Yeah.
Shanann called you?
Yeah.
Okay, and so you were sleeping in her bed.
Yeah, because I wasn't going to work that day because
Okay.
I didn't have to that day. It was the first time I ever had off.
Yes, I went to the house, and the first time I was there, I hung out in their like front living room. I just sat on the floor, and it was on the 4th of July. It was the morning of the 4th, and I was helping him to set up MyFitnessPal app and like track his food, his calories and stuff, because he does pretty good with the working out and stuff. And he asked me, he's like, can you help me just like get this dialed in? I was like, yeah, I can do that. So that he invited me up to the house, and I was already kind of hesitant to do it because I was like, there are other people that live here, and I just felt like it was an invasion of space. And so I went up there, and we just stayed in that front room, and I helped him out with that, and got him all set up with that. And then, he asked me if I wanted lunch, and he grilled chicken and carrots. And then that's all he had. And I was like, okay. So we ate, and then I left. And then there was another day about, I can give you the date-ish. Let me look at a calendar. I think think it was the weekend after my birthday.
Yeah, something I didn't ask you about the house because you'd been there twice, and it just made me remember. Do you remember how you guys accessed the house?
That's a good question. So once through the garage, and I think once through the front door. I think the first time was through the front door, I think, and I think the second time was through the garage.
Was there anything unique about either of the doors when you went into the house that might not be typical of another house?
Like a unique door. Like,
Not
I know
the
they have
door
a camera
itself.
on their door.
Okay,
I mean, I know
there's a
that.
camera on the which door?
It's on the front door, isn't it?
I don't know. I'm asking.
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know.
Did he use a key to access the house?
No. He did not. The first time I went over there, he just let me in. And then the second time, did we go through the garage? I don't remember. I've been through his garage before. I went through his front door once, though, because I remember he had just cleaned, it was the first time I went through his front door, because he had just cleaned his carpets, and he had moved all the furniture out of the way, and the furniture was kind of in the way of the door. And he's like, the door doesn't open all the way right now. I'll move all the furniture back when the carpet dries. Yes, I went to the house, and the first time I was there, I hung out in their like front living room. I just sat on the floor, and it was on the 4th of July. It was the morning of the 4th, and I was helping. So I do remember that just kind of offhandedly. And the second time, I want to say we went through his garage because I remember his garage. I remember, yeah.
So he was at the house when you went there. You were never there by yourself.
He
right?
was at,
Or
no.
he took you there.
The first time he was already there,
Okay.
and I met up with him. And the second time we went there together.
So the front door, I asked if he had used a key.
He let me in.
Okay. So there's a, those keypads where you can enter an access code. Do you remember seeing that on his door?
I want to say vaguely, but to be honest with you, I don't remember. Like, he let me in that day. That
So
was
he never
so
gave
long
you.
ago.
He never gave you the code to access his home.
No.
Okay.
Did you and Nikki ever fight?
We never fought, but like I said, I had to like calm her down a bunch of times.
Yeah, you started to mention that when we were talking to you before about her getting upset about some video or something about being bipolar or.
Well,
What are you talking about?
I think either my dad told me about that or John Walsh told me about, like, she made a couple videos, like, when she was just, like, talking to herself, saying that she was bipolar or something like that. But a lot of things was, like, when she realized that, okay, like, she's the other person in the relationship that, I'd always put my wife first over her, and that's what kind of made her take a step back a few times, and then, like, I had to kind of, like, calm her down.
Tell me about those times. What'd that look like?
So the first one was probably around July 4th when I had to leave her house because she wanted to kind of spend most of the day together before she went to like a baseball game or something. And like when I had to leave, it kind of just made her like kind of take a step back and wonder what she was doing. And I just told her like, hey, just because of what's going, like just because I had to leave doesn't mean like you have to just take a step. I was like comforting her at some point. I don't even know why I was doing it. Maybe I knew I was too far gone at that point, but it was.
Because this is Shanann's pissed. She's called you 10 times. You were sleeping because you had your day off. And then you go outside to talk to her on the phone and then tell Nikki that you need to go home just in case she calls back and all that, right? Mm-hmm. So what did she say to you, Nikki?
She was in the shower and she said, okay. And then that's like, when I talked about I calm her down, she's on the phone.
And was she like, we're breaking up, like we're not gonna, I can't do this?
No, she said like she didn't want to, like she didn't think it was safe or it was good for us to see each other anymore that day, like the rest of that day, just because of all that. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. And she asked me to come over like later on after she got back from her baseball game.
And so you did that?
Mm-hmm. And she now was pissed, and kind of pissed Nikki off too that I left. But I think that's when I called Nikki later, and she was like, she kind of realized that, she'd always be like, the second, she said second fiddle, I think. because that's how I probably would come back that day. Just, you know, I don't want to be anywhere else when Shanann calls. She was already pissed. So it was stuff like that where she would she would go. She said she would go on like websites and look at like, will a relationship work with somebody? Like, will a mistress work? Will a mistress turn into a relationship?
That's what Nikki was looking at?
Yeah.
She would tell you that, or
She
you
told
heard
me
that?
that.
Okay.
Yeah, she said that she would go on websites and look at stuff like that. I was like, why do you even look at stuff like that? She's like, I just want to see what other people have experienced.
But like, so that confuses me though, because I thought earlier you were saying she thought you were heading toward a divorce. So why was she looking at herself as a mistress?
This was later on.
Oh.
Like,
okay.
you know, in August, like the first week of August, when I told her, like, you know, I had had that talk with her about separation.
Uh-huh.
That's when, like, she started looking at, like, apartments and stuff. But, like, during our July relationship type thing there.
Oh, I see.
That's when she was looking up, like, will it actually work? And she told her friend Brittany about it, I guess. And Brittany told her not to do it, but she said she'd already made a decision.
Okay.
Did your friends know about him?
Nope.
Why?
Because it's like he's with 2 women right now. They don't need to know about
So
that.
if you had a
I told him, I was like, you know, like, I respect, like, monogamy.
And so, are those people absolutely wrong about Nikki? She wasn't asking you to get rid of your family?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. And no part of any of this was because she put it in your head or asked you to, or...
No, she never, I mean, this whole relationship contributed to it.
Sure.
But she didn't want me to.
I mean, was it ever like, I wish you didn't have kids, I want to have, you know, kids of my own with you, like...
She never knew if she wanted to have kids, but she said that, you know, at one point she said, I'd like to give you a son.
It wasn't, hey, we should get married, and hey, we should have babies, and hey, I want to live with you, and hey, I need to meet your children now, and let's cut the mom out. It was never like that.
Did she know that Shanann was pregnant with a boy?
No.
Did she know Shanann was pregnant?
No.
And why is that? You just didn't tell her?
I didn't know. Like, because we had met.
But Shanann put that on Facebook. Like, how did she not see
I
that?
don't know. Maybe she did, and she just waited for me to tell her, or she put it out of her head.
Can I ask you a question? A lot of people think you named Nico after Nikki. So what was that?
Nico was actually a name that Shanann liked.
Shanann thought of that one?
Yeah, I wanted to spell it like N-E-K-O. I thought it was like Nico that way.
Mm-hmm.
But she said N-I-C-O. And I thought it was like something like Nico or something. I guess Nico is more of like an Italian name.
Italian, yeah.
So, and like she did leave for, you know, my middle name and my dad and all that.
So the second time I went to that house, I'm not sure what day it was, but it was the weekend of the 14th.
Of August?
July. I don't know if it was the 14th or the 15th. One of those 2 days. But we had went out and we stopped there just real quick on the way back. And we were there not very long. But that time I saw a picture of his wife and one of his kids. And I remember thinking to myself, like, wow, she's so beautiful. And I like took a step back and I was just like, this man has a gorgeous house. He has beautiful babies. He has a beautiful wife. He has an awesome job. Like, why would he want to leave this? And I remember talking to him about it, and that was the first time that I tried to actually say, what do you think about not separating from your wife? Like, what if you really try to work on this? And he had expressed to me that we've tried to work on this, and it's not working, so that is why we're separating. Fix this. Find a way to fix this. Make it work, you know? And I was like trying to push him to do it, and he seemed pretty reluctant to do it. He didn't want to. And, I don't know. We were still seeing each other fairly frequently, but I kind of like backed away so we weren't hanging out quite as much, and we were still close, but it was just like I really wanted him to try. Like I wanted to know that he tried and it didn't work, and then he moved on. I just thought he had a beautiful life going on, and he could have made it work. That was the way I looked at it from the outside.
So, is this something you reflected on since this event, or was this you?
No, I was doing it then. Like you
said,
see
this doesn't look right.
It just seemed like he had so much going on, and it was just beautiful that I was like, why don't you just try this out, you know, and see if you can fix it. And he'd always be like, well, what about us? What about us? I'm like, don't worry about us. Like, that is more important. Like, try to see if you can, like, salvage whatever it is that you have going on with your wife. And you know, I always got the impression that he was a great father to his kids, like, always. And so, you know, and I was like, and be the dad that you want to be. I was like, and see if you can make it work. And he went to North Carolina, and he was like, I'm going to talk to her when I'm in North Carolina and see if I can get her to do this, to, like, try to, like, rekindle the flame.
Okay, so try to salvage his relationship as you've been asking him.
Yes. Okay.
Let's go back to North Carolina.
Okay.
He went to North Carolina, and he was trying to rehab his marriage with his wife.
He said
Do you know her name at this point?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you okay saying her name?
It's Shanann.
All right. And do you know the children's name?
Yes, it's Bella and Celeste.
Okay.
Cece.
She went by, they called her Cece?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So,
Day.
okay.
Yeah, I flew out there, and I thought I had, like, convinced him to, like, try to make peace with her. And I was like, if you guys work on this, like, I'm out. Because what's the point? Like, I'm not trying to be with somebody that's in another relationship, which I know that sounds silly given the whole relationship that we had in the first place, but I really was under the impression that they were separating. Please go try to fit, and I mean, and that might even be in the text too, where it's like, don't say those words to me and then go try to make peace with your wife and lay in bed with another woman. Like, just don't do that. And I was like, it's not that I don't appreciate what you're saying to me. It's like, it just didn't sit right for me, you know, so I just feel like...
Almost like an insecurity where he had to say that to you? Or?
I don't know. I think he like... looking back at all this now, I don't think he was trying to fix things with her, so saying, I love you, to me, seemed like probably something that he genuinely meant. Like, I love this woman, and regardless of where he was going to end up that night.
Phone records don't lie. People do.
Can I ask kind of a tough question? Did you love it?
I felt like it was true.
Yeah. I think so too. I think it was the same for her. Okay. Tell us about the time you spent with her.
Well, I mean, it felt like it was, you know, I think, like when you said, like, I was more like a shy guy, it's kind of like I've never, like, been pursued by anybody before. It's kind of like I was the one, you know, trying to pursue, because, like, when me and Shanann met, it was like, you know, she was always, like, pushing me away, kind of like, you know.
It seems to me, and you tell me if I'm wrong, it seems to me like you're attracted to maybe a more dominant personality.
It seemed like it, because I'm more of the, just reserved. I mean, I just kind of, like, go with the flow type.
Yeah.
And, like, Stan usually made all the decisions, it seemed like, so.
I get that, I'm the same.
As far as I've gotten. But I can tell you right now, if I were to text him and just say whatever I needed to say, he would do it.
So then do you call her Nikki or Nicole?
I would call her Nikki.
Okay.
I know there's so many Nikki's and Nicoles in this.
Right.
That's
there is.
I got confused.
So we'll call her Nikki. So then with Nikki, was it different?
It just seemed like I was more in control, it seemed like, and that never happened. Like, she'd actually, like, ask me, like my opinion on a lot of things, and just, like, what I wanted to do, and just kind of, like, okay.
That was new, wasn't it?
Very new.
Oh, that's fascinating to me. And so did it feel more like an equal partnership, or?
It seemed like it.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there any particular places that you guys ever went that stood out? Did he have a special place that he wanted to go with you, to go for a walk, or to go, view the sights or anything like that?
Every place that we went was like my idea, and I think all of it was special to him because I really took time to go to places that he would like, but it was all stuff that I picked.
Okay.
Every time. Like dinner, like any place we went, like it was something that I picked. I was like, hey, I know you would like this. What do you think? And he was always all about it. But like going camping was my idea. You know, we went out a couple other times. My idea, like all of it was my idea. He was all about it.
So he just wanted to spend time with you.
Yes. I don't think he cared where it was at.
Okay.
So then, when it was date night, would you guys talk about it? Would you ask to go somewhere? Would she say, I want to go somewhere? Was it too far?
The first time we went out, it was to a movie over at the Orchard, about 144th over there, and I asked her, like, hey, you want to go see this movie? And, like, she's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, cool. And we got there, it was sold out, and, normally probably just have, just wait 2 hours, like, just go home, but now she just wanted to walk around and just talk. I'm like, okay.
Oh, wow.
So that was different, and, I think she wanted to go to the car museum, Shelby Museum in Boulder. I've never been there, and I was
That's right up your alley.
Oh, yeah. I was just like, that was awesome, just to walk around cars for like an hour or so. And then, drag race in Vandermeer.
Okay.
I haven't been to a drag race since 2008. And that was in Charlotte.
Okay.
Like that feeling drag strip over there. And it's like the NHRA, the Top Fuel, and fun car stuff. Like me and my dad used to grow up, go there like all the time. And then like went to camping in Sand Dunes National Park, and I'd never been camping. I always wanted to do it. Thought it was she'd done it like countless times.
Oh, really? Okay. She's outdoorsy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess she every time like she needed to clear her head, she'd just go by herself, just go somewhere.
Oh.
Yeah.
So she's a completely new type of person and relationship.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What were you thinking this whole time? Like,
in the back of my head, I was just telling myself, what are you doing? Like, every time, I open up my phone, I could see pictures, like, of my wife and my kids, and I'm just like, what am I doing? And then, like, every time I was with her, it seemed like I didn't think. It seemed like it was like a blinder that was in my face.
oh,
And it was, like, every time I look back on it, like, like, I have pictures of my wife and kids and myself. And, like, every night, or every morning, every night, I just, talk to them, say, like I have, like, this book I used to read for CC, and I remember that book, so I read that to them, like, every night. And, like, there's some scripture and stuff that I read to them, so I just try to think back, like, I wish this never happened. And just like, I wish that blinder wasn't on my head, right in my eyes. That would have seen what was going on. Like, I was having, everybody said, oh, you're just out there having fun while your kids, or kids and wife are on vacation. I'm just like, no, it wasn't like that, but it seemed like that's what it looked like when, when you're going, when you're going to camping, going to drag race, going all this other stuff that you have fun doing, but you're with somebody else. It's not your family. It just didn't seem right. I was with her, it just didn't seem like I could even see that anymore. And I was there at her house pretty much every night. So it was like I didn't have that time at home just to really think about anything. Because literally I didn't, I was only at home from when I got home from work. I worked out, I ate dinner, and then I went over her house. I never slept in my house, the whole month of July.
now, talk me through that though. When you said you went home and then you were at her house, was that while Chanel was gone? Oh, okay. So you weren't even at your house.
No.
This all happened so quickly, didn't it?
It was insane quickly. She even told me she was never in a normal relationship. She would never have somebody over at her house more than once or twice a week. But she felt like she wanted me over there.
Yeah.
She said she felt comfortable over there.
Yeah.
So it's just that's what was different. She wanted me over there. But I just wish that all that would just go away. I just wish I'd almost I know it's hard I know it's wrong to say I wish I'd never met somebody, but I wish I'd, maybe met her at work and then just kept it that way.
I think if we had a time machine, I don't think this would happen again. Because some people, when this happens, you're like, well, if it wasn't this time, it would have been next time, or it would have been the next time. It just wouldn't have happened with you, would it? It happened so quickly that, you tell me if I'm wrong, you're not the type of guy to take control sometimes when you need to. Yeah, it seems like that's just what happened.
Yeah, I didn't take control of the situation. It's just like the situation controlled me.
Right, it just happened. No, I get that, man. I'm somewhat passive myself, and it's like, you know, there's situations where I'm like, well, why did I let that keep going? You know?
Yeah, I don't know why. It was like a roller coaster ride that I just kept punching the ticket on and just never picked it up. I mean, it's just like, if I never met Nikki, would I ever have, you know, thought our relationship was bad? Probably not.
Interesting.
You know, that's one thing I always thought about. Like, even Nikki asked me, like, if, you know, I don't want you. She said, I don't want you to leave your wife just because of me. I'm just like, what do you mean? She said, well, just if you met me, like, would you have known? I'm like, nope. So I never thought I would have strayed away from her at all. Like, I've never followed, like, tried to follow anybody, you know? Like,
I told him, I was like, you know, like, I respect, like, monogamy.
Was Shanann checking your phone, or
she always had my phone.
she was checking your phone? So how did you get past that?
I use my work phone.
To text? And you had some secret apps, right?
That was on my personal phone.
Were you using anything else to have contact with her?
No, I just texted her with my work phone. And like when Shanann and the kids went to North Carolina, I just used my personal phone. And she just told me like to put pictures in an app, and I just found that calculator. I just put, you know, just searched on the app store, like hidden pictures, and this calculator app first popped up.
Like in your iCloud or your whatever isn't linked together, so she would know if you're getting at, you know, downloading apps and stuff like that.
They used to be a long time ago, but when we got different phones, or when our phone, like a phone contact list would be synced up from the cloud and stuff like that, I couldn't have, like, she had like tons of like phone contacts. I just couldn't have all that, but it's still kind of linked up at one point. But as far as like, she asked me to get my own iCloud account just to kind of free that up a little bit.
How about your Facebook account? You deleted that at some point. When did you do that? And why?
I think it was, got back August 7th. Went to work. I think it was probably August 8th. That's when I think he told me she told her friends about me.
Did your friends know about him?
Nope.
Why?
Because it's like he's with 2 women right now. They don't need to know about
So
that.
if you had a
I told him, I was like, you know, like, I respect, like, monogamy.
phone records don't lie, people do.
And I just figured, you know, they'd probably look me up on Facebook and see that she was pregnant. If Nikki already knew probably already, but that's the reason why I did that.
So what was the second one like?
It was basically about the same thing. She was, you know, I didn't really know it at one point, but I guess she had set up a couple dates with like some eHarmony app or something, and they never showed up. And she'd already made plans with me, and, you know.
Wait, what do you mean? She set up dates when she had plans with you?
Yeah.
Why would she do that?
I guess she kind of figured out they weren't going to show up. She went, I guess when she went to the baseball game, they never showed up, and there was another one, and never showed up either.
So she's actively dating other people while you
I
guys are
didn't know
together?
it until like a couple weeks later.
How how'd you find out?
She told me.
What'd she say?
She it was one conversation where I actually kind of fell asleep on the couch, and then like she had told me, like, I'm not sure why she even told me about it, but it was very random, and she could tell that it kind of like took me back a little bit, because I figured she would have told me that if she was actively still like looking around. I mean, she didn't have to tell me, but I figured she
Do you think
would
she
have.
told you though so that it would hurry you up and
Make a decision.
you're making a decision?
It might have been, but you know, she never had anybody that's actually tried to like fix things, as far as like, you know, hey, like, I like where we're at as far as like the relationship goes, and actually like I did stuff for her around the house, around her little apartment, and like nobody's ever done that. She thought it was different.
What about our male friend? Where does he stand with her? What's his name?
Jim?
Jim.
Just leave Jim
But
alone.
if
Jim does
at
not need to
some
be wrapped
point-
up in this.
He worked in the oil field, North Dakota, I believe. And I guess he's been a friend of hers for a long time. And it's kind of like a shoulder to cry on. It's always somebody that's always been around for her. And I guess he's had a couple girlfriends, and just I guess he's hadn't had much luck, I guess, in that department as far as like keeping girlfriends, and just him and Nikki have always been good friends.
Just platonic friends?
That's
as far as you know.
as much as I knew.
Yeah.
But I think they just been friends for a long time, especially up in oil field, North Dakota, or whatever he's working now. I think either Wyoming, they can go all over the place.
Just leave Jim
But
alone.
if
Jim does
at
not need to
some
be wrapped
point-
up in this.
What did she know about you? Did she know you were married first?
She did once I showed her the pictures on the phone, on the the home screen picture and everything.
So was your wife in that picture, or was it just your girls?
So it was just my girls right there, but my wife was the lock screen.
Oh,
So she knew I was married and had kids.
Okay.
I told him, I was like, I respect, like, monogamy.
have you talked to her at all? No.
I'm
No.
hoping she hasn't written me in a different alias or something. No, I'm not talking to her that way.
Oh,
And are you not allowed to talk to her?
I would hope not.
Okay. No one told you that, though?
No, I mean I would expect I thought in Colorado it said on a DOC list if you're on a victim list you can't call anybody.
Oh, right.
But here I'm not sure if that's the same. But I just talked to my sister, my parents, some friends of my parents. That's about it.
do you wish you could talk to her?
Maybe once just to
Get some closure?
say hey, just once.
Yeah.
Just to say, I'm sorry this all happened. I'm sorry. I'm not sure, what happened, afterwards, what you went through, if you had, counseling, if you're, different state, if you had to leave everything behind. I just wanted to let you know I'm sorry, and that's not something I ever saw in my life happening or happening to somebody else either.
Would you be alright if we told her that?
That's fine.
If you want us to, let's not.
And if she would want to even talk to you guys, then I'm not sure if you're still in contact with her. I'm sure she'd answer your phone call more than an attorney phone call that she didn't want to call answer.
Oh, so your attorney tried to call her and she wouldn't answer?
Yeah. Yeah, because I remember her phone number, but after that they figured out, I guess, where she lived. And they left a call, business card there. And she just, pretty much after the fifth attempt, she said stop coming around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's getting bombarded like everyone else, so.
And hopefully it's calmed down since, but I'm sure, I just hope she can, I'm not, there's normalcy for her, not since she's on the outside, but I'm hoping it can get that way at some point. I'm not sure if she had to leave Colorado or not, but I'm sure, that would have been hard if she did.
Mm-hmm.
I know Anadarko was her dream job, so that's one thing I always asked my attorneys is did she have to leave? Did she have to do anything at work? Because that was one thing. So she always told me that was her dream job. So.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where did she meet?
In the oil company Anadarko is unless you're working for BP or ConocoPhillips or something.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Anadarko's
Big leagues.
Yeah.
My name is about to be slandered for probably a while. I don't know how long it's going to take to heal, but I would not be surprised if it's going to be hard to go out in public sometimes for a couple of years. And that really hurts me. I'm just this is a horrible, horrible thing. How dare you, and people aren't going to understand that. They're going to say, oh, you're the woman that had an affair with this man who took out his whole family. And I take a step back and it's just I didn't know. It's.
What about that 9 o'clock thing you were telling me on Monday?
Oh, that he told me? Oh yeah, well we'll get there. We're still on Sunday.
So we're on
night.
Sunday.
We're
gonna get to, we're gonna get to
this is gonna be a long.
We're gonna
night.
get there to Monday. We're getting there. So
When did Jim come in?
Monday.
Oh.
Jim got here Monday. I am so hungry.
You should have told me. I would have got you some food. I got food in my car.
It's not staying down. It's just coming.
She hadn't
back
been
up.
feeling good. Not because of any, just
Like I got sick prior to this.
Jim.
It's just coming.
She hadn't
back
been
up.
feeling good. Not because of any, just
Like I got sick prior to this.
Jim.
Prior to this.
Jim.
Prior to this.
Jim.
Prior to this
Jim.
whole thing happening, and then I think all of this compounding with the
Stress.
fact that I'm sick. It's just not good. I've not really been eating or sleeping much at all.
yeah. When did I go over there? Tuesday morning.
Wednesday morning.
Wednesday,
I
yeah.
called you Wednesday morning.
That's when we started discussing. You guys need to get everything that I just.
You can understand the importance of,
Oh, no question. We were.
like I said, people lie, phone records don't.
And
Who's that?
my friend Jim. And so Jim came over, and I got home. He was there. He had like just walked in the door, and I remember like briefly after he got there, I checked my texts. I mean, briefly after I met up with Jim, I like glanced at my texts, and Chris said something about like my family's not home. Or like my wife and kids aren't home.
What kind of truck do you drive?
I drive a Toyota 4Runner.
Okay.
Alrighty, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Okay. Have a good day, everybody.